There we go. We're recording now. Ooh. So, hello everyone. I'm Lace from Soap and Hope, and this is the lovely Liv. Oh, now. So, Liv is from Letters of Light. So, we're going to have a really lovely chat today about what Liv does and how she offers support and her amazing project. So, just to start with, I was going to tell you a little bit about my story and how I got to know Liv and how I got to know all these wonderful people that are doing these amazing things for Maternal Mental Health Awareness Week. So I had postpartum psychosis in 2019 after the birth of my second baby. So I didn't have any form of mental illness or anything ever before, and or nothing that I knew about anyway. And then when I had Alfie, I think it was a bit of a domino effect, and I like to analyze things, and I like to know exactly why it happens. And obviously I've never found that reason, but there was a bit of a domino effect. You know, it was an unexpected pregnancy, it was a long scary labour, he was premature and in NICU, it just goes on. And I was actually diagnosed with psychosis about 4 months after he was born, so a lot later than what the normal is as well. And I spent 9 weeks in a mother and baby unit. And whilst I was there, I obviously got lots of intense, lovely treatment and helped bonding with my baby as well, because I felt like the bond with him just was non-existent and I didn't want to be anywhere near him, and I had thoughts of harming him and things. So it was really not a very nice time. And then once I started to recover very slowly, the reason I believe that turning point was a peer support worker came and sat next to me one day and said, like, I know how you feel. I've been through this myself. I know how you feel, and I promise you, you'll get better. And I'd heard that so much before, and I never quite believed it. I just thought, oh, these professionals, they've just read books. They don't know. They don't know how I feel. And it wasn't until this lovely lady sat next to me and I was like, actually, do you know, if someone else can do it, then maybe I can too. And that was the real turning point for my recovery. So, since becoming better, I now offer peer support to other women because I want to give them that light that lady gave me. And my mum, my amazing mum, offers support to their families as well, because she always says when we were going through it that I had the support, which was amazing, but she felt like she didn't know what to do. We'd never really been exposed to mental health before. She didn't really know how to deal with it. And me and my mum were so close, and yet I wouldn't even let her in my area, you know. So she found that really hard. So she now offers support to the parents and family members, partners, whoever needs it, that for the person that's suffering with maternal mental illness. So how my business came about is when I was in the mother and baby unit, I began making soaps, just firstly out of pure boredom. I was like, I don't know what to do with my time. I'm starting to get better. I feel a bit more human now, but what do I do? So I started making these soaps, and when I was making them, I realised that my mind was concentrating on that and not so much on the psychosis. So it became more of an obsession, and there was soap everywhere. Like, all of the mums in the unit had loads of bars of soap. They were all over the bathrooms, they were everywhere. And when I came out of the unit, I just carried on doing it. And I thought, what am I going to do with all of these soaps? So I started selling them online, and that was, well, way over a year ago now, and Soap and Hope has just gone massive since then. So I now have my own little workshop, and I sell my soaps, share my story, and offer peer support as well. So I love it, and it's changed my life for the better. So that's me.
I love your story. I absolutely love it. And how you've taken what you went through. From when I remember you saying to me that your mum had got you that like teenager soap making kit when you were in the mother and baby, just to kind of get you through, and that you know your mum got you that as a little gift to think, oh, hopefully that'll lift her, and you've kind of taken that now, and you've got your own brand. And I love the name Soap and Hope. It's so authentic, and I just think it's amazing. Well done.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. And Liv, you do the most amazing project, and I almost wish I knew that you do so much work now, but to have one of those letters, I think when I was in the unit, it's almost like somebody speaking to you from personal experience, like that peer support worker that I had a bit later on that helped me. Maybe if I had one of your letters beforehand, it would have changed, you know, it could have changed loads. So what you're doing is incredible. So do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, sure. Hi everybody, I'm Liv from the Letters of Light project. And it's a really special and empowering project, sending handwritten letters of peer support from women with lived experience of maternal mental health to women who are currently suffering. So at the moment, we are backing up these beautiful letters and we're sending them all across the UK to mother and baby units, NHS trusts, and maternal mental health organisations who are supporting women with their mental health. We've also got interest in different countries around the world. As we all know, maternal mental health is a global issue. So that is something that we're looking to do further down the line, is to start rolling it out into different countries. But it has literally just exploded over the last, since setting it up 18 months ago. I've been quite overwhelmed with the amount of women who are wanting to write letters, but also the need that's out there to receive the letters. When I first set it up, it was literally a Facebook post asking for 20 women to get together with me and write letters of hope and light. And within the first week, we had 200 women registered. So this little post that I wanted to do, this little sideline project I wanted to do whilst looking for work and thinking what I was going to do next, has kind of just exploded over the last 18 months. And we've now got our own website set up. We're a CIC, so we're looking to access funding, and we're looking to roll the project out, hopefully across all NHS trusts, to help as many women as possible. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind, but a wonderful one. Yeah, a wonderful one.
It's so amazing. And then the fact that you're, hoping to go worldwide as well. I think, because like you say, it's obviously it's not just restricted to this country, it's worldwide. So the fact that you're hoping to do that too is incredible. And I'm so behind this. So as soon as I found Letters of Light, and as soon as I started recovery and was trying to find things that, I might be able to get involved with, I was like, oh my God, I could do this. And so I think I wrote one for you. I don't know, but if you just started then or very early on anyway. And so I love it, and I love what you do, and I love what you stand for. So yeah, I'm so excited about it.
And I think on the same issue, because obviously I had psychosis after both of my little girls, so unfortunately had it twice. And I just remember thinking for the first time and the second time, if I'd just have heard from somebody who'd been where I was, because like you, I had lots of friends and lovely family members saying to me, you're going to get well, and you've got two beautiful girls, everything's going to be fine. And on one hand, I can remember thinking, oh, that's really wonderful and really well-meaning. But on the other hand, being quite angry at the time, thinking, well, how do you know? Because you haven't been where I am. I don't think I'm going to get through this, and I'm going through it. How do you know that I'm going to get through this? You've never had any experience of it. So for me, if I could have just had a letter from somebody who'd been where I was, saying, there is support out there, with the right help and support, you are going to get through this, and that there is not maternal mental health, it would have been life-changing for me, and I know for a fact I'd have felt better straight thinking I'm not the only one going through this, and I can get through it.
Yeah, that's it. And I always remember feeling like no one else has ever had these feelings towards their baby. How could they? And I used to think, like, I'm inhuman. I can't be human if I'm having these thoughts towards my baby and wanting to harm my baby. So how could anybody ever feel that way? And I was in the same space as you there, saying like no one understands, and I felt quite angry about it, because I really did think that I was the only person. And it wasn't until I started meeting peer support and got with APP as well, who I now volunteer for, who are amazing, that I started to realise actually I'm not the only one. And although it's quite a rare maternal mental illness, it's still very real, and it's really scary. So to have that light given to you in a letter, in a handwritten letter, is incredible. So I love it.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. It's now kind of being like 18 months into the project, we're now hearing from mums who receive letters on a mother and baby unit who now actually want to write a letter for the project. So it's a real 360 project, because we've been hearing from the mums writing the letters, saying it's really helped them as part of their recovery. The mums who are in recovery, reading them and finding strength from it, that they are going to get well again, recovery is possible. And then coming out the other side and writing a letter for the project, and then it providing an amazing peer support tool for the amazing staff who are on these mother and baby units, who are trying their best to help the women get through. And we've heard from so many mother and baby unit staff saying that these letters are really lovely little sort of like tools of support that help them start conversations with the mums on the unit, but their families as well. So yeah, it is a wonderful project that I feel really privileged to be able to be part of.
Yeah, it is amazing. And also, just another thing I wanted to say as well, I feel like for me, postpartum psychosis changed my life a bit, because beforehand I was a student midwife and that was my ambition. I was going to qualify as a midwife, but this has just changed my life completely. When I came out the other side of this, I thought I don't want to, I'd still love to be a midwife, but my focus is now on helping other people. And I feel like I'm not the only one that feels like that. I know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an amazing thing to be able to do, even if you just wanted to, help out a little bit, but still want to carry on your career or whatever you're doing, just to do a little something to give back. I think most people that have suffered feel like they want to do that.
And I think as well, I don't know how you feel about this, but I remember kind of coming through it and going, what have I gone through that for? Why I've lost all those precious moments with my girls when I was first really, really desperately ill. What have I gone through that for? And I think if you're left with that, you can feel quite in limbo for a while. And for me, it was putting that experience and putting that darkness to work and going, right, I need to do something with it. And that's what I feel a lot of women involved in the project, they feel like they've come through the other side, they're still carrying this darkness within, this darkness with this memory of what they've been through, and it's lingering, and it's like, well, what can I do with that, and why have I gone through it? And it's almost becomes your superpower, I think. And I say this to other women, it's like what you've been through is your superpower, whether that be being able to have empathy with a mum in the playground or in the park about what you've both been through, or whether it being setting up something as wonderful, Soap and Hope, or doing the Letters of Light project. I think no matter what you do, if you just put it to work and do something with it, it really helps you release it. And you feel like you're doing something positive. And I think that's a real important part of recovery as well.
Yeah, definitely. And there's still times now where, people say to me now, you've recovered, and I'm like, yeah, I have. I definitely don't have psychosis anymore, but there's still times now where I have really down, not great days, and I think, what can I do with that? I must be able to do something with that, because it's taken over my life and changed my life for the better, I'd say. But also I still have those days where I'm like, I need to do something with this, and that's when I'll blog or write or draw or do something to make it a bit better. So yeah, I completely agree with you there.
Yeah, no, I think it's really important that you recognise that as well, because I can remember when I was at your stage a couple of years after being ill and I was the same. I'd have great day, I was writing the book and everyone was like, oh wow, you're doing really well, and wow, you've really come through that, you've totally recovered. And I can remember thinking, I am, but there's something still there. There's something there. And so I would have days like you, and I would write, or I'd do some yoga, or I'd go for a big walk or a run, and do something with it, because I could feel like it's almost like that residual energy from what you've been through is still there, and I think you've just got to be mindful of that as part of your recovery, and just don't think, okay, I'm well now, that's it, that's done.
It.
You've got to find it to yourself and give you, and allow yourself to have those bad days and sit with it for a bit and know what you can do for your coping mechanisms that will get you through those darker days. And because you've already come through that recovery, that they're not going to last forever. With the right help, you're going to get through it. And I think that's really important to keep hold of and to be mindful of as well, especially during weeks like this week. Maternal mental health is amazing, and I love it, and it's great for raising awareness. But people who are involved in it have to be really mindful that it could trigger things, and anybody watching this needs to be mindful of how they're feeling through this week as well, and just take care of yourselves.
Yeah, definitely. Self-care is so important with it as well. So yeah, I've got my letter here that I've written recently. Did you want me to read it out?
Oh, I love the paper. That is so pretty.
Things on it.
Oh, that is amazing. Oh yes, I'd love to hear it.
Okay. I sat down one night with a glass of wine and I was like, right, I need to pour my heart out into this, and I loved it, every minute of it. I was like, I don't want to leave the table, I'm having so much fun. So, dear fellow mum, I'm sending you a letter of light and a promise that there is light and hope. I was once in the depths of darkness. I had postpartum psychosis, and at the time I'm blumbling. And at the time I refused to believe there was any light. But now I'm in the lightest, brightest place that I've ever been. I know that if I can find it, you can too. There is hope, and it is possible to recover. I know how you feel, and I've walked the very same steps. There's no denying that what you're experiencing right now isn't great, but you're in the right track. You've asked for help and you're receiving it. Asking for help was probably the hardest thing that you've done, but I promise you it will be the best thing you've done. And the only way is up now. I remember feeling so alone and like I was the only person in the world that was experiencing this, and no one could have these horrendous thoughts towards their baby. And I thought I was the only one that could see these things that no one can understand. But since becoming well, I have met so many amazing women that have gone through the same darkness. And there's actually bloody loads of us. We're a big community. We look out for each other. We support one another. And we have so much respect for one another. We will see you on the other side and welcome you with open arms because we're all in this together. My son is now 2, and it took me a long time to fall in love with him. But now we're inseparable. And we've made up for the times that we missed. You will too, and you will fall in love with your beautiful baby. You're strong, amazing, and you're not alone. With so much love and hope, Lace, a fellow mum who cares.
Oh my goodness, that is just incredible. I feel quite emotional. Honestly, that is just beautiful. And you know, you were reading that then, I just kept thinking, God, there's going to be a mum sometime in the future sat on a mother and baby unit who's going to receive that, and it's just going to just, you know, give her that light that she needs at that moment. So thank you so much. That is just wonderful.
I love it. And if anyone that little bit of light, then it makes everything worth it, doesn't it? That's why I say if I can just change one person's outlook and give one person a little bit of light, then everything is worth it. So yeah.
I loved what you wrote about that, you know, that there's loads of us.
Yeah, there is.
Really, there is literally loads of us out there who have had whether it's psychosis, whatever form of maternal mental health illness you've had or you've touched upon after having a baby. There are literally hundreds and thousands of us around the world and throughout the UK. And I think anybody listening today who might be going through that darkness needs to know that they're not on their own. And you know, you're part of it. And you might not feel like it at the moment. When you come through the other side, you'll realise you're part of a pretty cool club made up of strong, fierce women who've all got your back, you know, who all understand and who've all got your back. And I think that is, you know, the huge positive of the awful stuff that I went through is all the wonderful women that I've met since who've become really dear friends of mine because of that shared experience and that feeling of, you know, all that time I was there, like, thinking, nobody else feels like this. I'm the only one. And I think especially with psychosis as well, because it is so, you know, the scary thoughts, the visions, all the horrendous stuff that comes with it. You just think there is no way anybody else has been through this after becoming a mother. No way. So it's just so important for everyone to hold on to that fact that there are thousands of us out here and we're all here supporting you because we all understand, you know. I think it's so important.
Definitely. And when I started on that road to recovery, I always thought, then obviously the guilt kicks in, and I always thought that, you know, the way that I felt towards my baby, and, you know, I didn't want him here anymore. So, and then I started to think, okay, so there may be other people with this, but people don't feel like that, surely not. And then you know, connecting with APP and connecting with other amazing women, I've since realised that actually no, you know, that's, although it's not normal, it's, you know, it's normal in our world.
It's a normal part of the illness.
That's right.
You know, it's I can remember for me, I didn't want to let them out of my sight. So I was the mother who was fearful all the time, thinking something awful was going to happen to the girls. So I would be, and I never want them out of my sight, always with me. And having, you know, the visions, and you just think that nobody else has gone through that, and you just don't want to talk about it because it's really scary. You know, it is. And you don't, I think as well, you don't ever associate, especially as a first time mum, you don't associate being a mummy with being scared or scary thoughts or scary visions. Those mental health and motherhood never, from my experience, you've never got spoken about in the same sentence. And so when it happens and you've had no experience of it before, it comes completely out of left field, knocks you off your feet, and also silences you because you're too scared to voice it, because you think, well, nobody else is going through this. Nobody else has spoken about having this situation after becoming a mum. I just need to keep quiet and I just need to keep going because obviously everybody else must be going through this and I'm the one who's just not coping with it.
Yeah, definitely. I was silent for so long, and I feel like that's what triggered me over from postnatal depression to psychosis. And I'm not sure if that is, medically true, but you know how you try and diagnose it in your own head? That's the thing that I've come forward to. And I think at the time when I was going through it, I was really shameful of what I was feeling. But now I want to shout it from the rooftops, and I want to let everybody in this world know that, it is okay not to be okay after having a baby. It's actually quite normal to feel a bit crap after having a baby. It's normal.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well done. Now you've turned yours into your superpower too.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it is my superpower. It's my passion. It's my passion to help other people and to raise awareness for it. So this week is amazing. Did you say that you had letters there?
Yes, I do. I have lots of letters here, but I picked out a couple that I read through earlier that I thought might be quite helpful if there's any mums who are listening at the moment, or any partners of women who are going through maternal mental health illness, or family members, like you said about your mum has been a massive support for you. So any parents of daughters who are going through something, I just thought it'd be quite nice to read a couple out, so can hear what the project's about and give them some hope. So we've got one here from a lovely mum called Emily. I'm going to show it you first because it's beautiful. So we always say to people, you can write in on any type of paper. We don't want the paper issue to be a hurdle for you getting your letter to us. So this lovely lady has written on lined paper, but then she's decorated it all. And this is what we found with a lot of the mums who write letters in. They'll send it in on plain paper or lined paper like Emily's, but then they'll illustrate around the sides, or write little notes of encouragement, like you can do this. They'll send in little cards as well that can be sent out. So it is really beautiful. Yeah. So, okay, I'll read Emily's out. Dear fellow mum, I'm writing you a letter of light because you need to hear a little bit of hope right now. It's been a tricky year for everyone, but becoming a mum during these times is tough. Believe me, I know. I too have been struggling with postnatal depression, so I understand. I can promise you it does get better. I know right now that feels a million miles away, but trust me, it does. This letter will not solve your problems, but I hope it reminds you that it is okay and you are not alone in feeling like this. Remember, every day you are getting stronger. Every day you are brave and strong and should be proud for doing your best. Your best is good enough, I promise. Seeking help is the bravest thing you could ever do, and for that I am proud of you. Take one day at a time and be patient with yourself. Remember, you need to love yourself to heal. From a mum who cares, Emily.
Oh, that one actually really hits, doesn't it? Oh.
I know, my husband always knows when I'm doing a kind of letter reading session, because he'll come in and I'll be in tears with a cup of tea and some tissue. Yeah. And some tissue, because it's just so, you can just, when you're reading the words, especially as women with lived experience, you automatically just feel centered toward the letter, and what the words and how much that would have resonated when we were ill. And just the thought of, I can't wait to get this letter sent out to a mum in need, and knowing that it's going to be sent on its way to do some good, is just incredible. So thank you, Emily, whoever you are. Thank you for that beautiful letter.
It's almost like a actual hug coming out of the paper, isn't it? Like I can feel a hug, which is beautiful.
Yeah, and a lot of the women obviously go home with these letters, and we hear that they stuck them on the fridge as a reminder. They carry them in their handbag, they put them in their side table, read it before they go to bed of an evening. So they're real keepsakes as well. And I think once you have recovered, you've got that letter as a memory of where you've been, but also where you've got to. And I think they're really lovely little memories to keep hold of, to say, I went through this awful time, but wow, I got through it. How strong am I? And how incredible that I'm here and I'm now enjoying life after this illness. So I just love this idea that there's all these letters out there sitting in people's side tables or bag, and even in years to come, when their kids have grown up and moved house, and they'll find, that lovely feeling, they'll find it in a dusty drawer somewhere and remember the time and how great they were and how well they did. So these letters are going to last forever.
Yeah, definitely. Is there an opportunity to people to write back to these to the women that have written letters?
Not at the moment, because obviously for us it's really important, the safeguarding issues of the women involved. There's lots of vulnerable women who are receiving the letters, but also the women writing the letter. They've been in a vulnerable place. And I do think that one of the magical things about the project is that these are all anonymous and you're receiving them. You don't know this lady who's written the letter, but you don't have to, because you know that you've had that shared experience. And it's just somebody there who doesn't know you and doesn't know your situation, but just knows that they want to help you. And I think that really kind of adds to the magic of the project and the power of it, that you don't have to know somebody to be able to write a letter or to receive a letter. Just knowing that somebody out there has got your back and they've never even met you before.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's amazing. I love it. I love what you do. And did you say you're going to start doing something for APP as well? So APP is Action Against Postpartum Psychosis, and they are an amazing charity that look after women and that have a beautiful forum where you can go on and chat to other volunteers. And all of the volunteers have also suffered from PP previously as well. So did you say that you start working with them?
Yes, obviously, as a survivor of psychosis, it is really important to me that we provide letters for mums who've had psychosis. And what we found is that when we first launched the project, it was obviously under the generic umbrella of maternal mental health. But as the project's evolved, we've had different genres of, like I like to call them genres of need, that have come out of the letters and the requests. So obviously it's like people who've gone through psychosis, a different experience to people who've gone through postnatal depression. So for me, it's really important that we have a set of letters for psychosis, women who are going through psychosis. And I love APP, and the team behind the charity are just incredible. So we're on about teaming up and doing an appeal to have letter writers, the survivors of psychosis, to write letters that we can then send out to mother and baby units who are helping women recover from postpartum psychosis. So that'll start the next stage. And we're also doing letters for dads as well, which, because obviously, as you know, the partner is so important throughout the process of recovery. And if you've gone through a maternal mental health illness, the whole family go through it. It's not just yourself, and that you all need support. So we're looking at doing letters for dads as well, so that we can send out with their. My kind of ambition and dream is that every mother and baby unit, every NHS trust gets packs of letters of light, pack for mums and a pack for dads. So then we're covering both partners, because at the end of the day, the mental health illness affects all of you, and you all need support, and it's so important.
Yeah, I think I was blinded a bit by that. When you are unwell, you get blinded by the fact that it's not only affecting you, but everybody else around you. People normally, husbands normally have to take time off work, and they're supporting you as well as supporting the baby. So yeah, that's so important. Incredible.
Yeah, it's really important for me. So we're just going to keep going, and we're a CIC now, so we're trying to access funds to kind of propel the project forward, and we're just going to keep going. We've got two wonderful volunteers, Alison and Sarah, who are helping me, and they're just incredible. And so we've got like a nice little team together now, and they're both women with lived experience. In fact, Alison, she was one of the first ever mums to receive a letter of light, and she's now working on the project. So yeah, it's just incredible.
I love it, and I love everything you're doing. So thank you so much, and I hope it will go from strength to strength. There's no doubt about it. So yeah, I'm so happy for you.
Oh, thank you so much.
It was lovely chatting.
Oh yeah, thank you so much for having me on, and for having a nice chat together, and for all your support, and for writing a letter. I just think you're incredible, so thank you.
Oh, I think you're definitely amazing. You're incredible too. So thank you.